Hi, we're going to get started with how to create a simple draft using Microsoft Office 365 Copilot. Head up there to the top Word and click the Word button, and this will open Microsoft Word in 365. Click the button Create a Blank Document, and this will open a new page for Microsoft Word. Now, for any draft, we need a title. So we'll write today. We'll use climate change, and we'll make it as a heading and center it. And I've taken a template from before to get started. So what we're trying to do today is write a simple draft using Copilot and demonstrating the core aspects of Copilot, and also how to use Copilot, what approach to take, and how it can really speed up your writing process. Head over there to the top right button, Copilot, and click that button, and this will open the Copilot screen. How Copilot is best used is guiding Copilot to your outcome. So your outcome today is creating a document, a draft document, using Copilot. And we need to create a draft document. So we have a structure for the draft document. It's introduction, main points, and conclusion. And then we have some broken down elements of each part of the draft document. So let's say start with the striking fact. So climate change, what is it? What's the main purpose of the draft document? The purpose is climate change is bad. We must stop it. What are the main points? Human activities causes climate change. Climate change leads to severe weather and rising sea levels, and we need to reduce the emissions around the greenhouse gases, etc. So those are really the three main points of this draft document, and this can be applied to any draft document that you're writing. And let's use Copilot now to guide us to write this document and to make our lives much easier. So let's click Message Copilot. In this input box, this is where we'll engage with Copilot, and we'll guide it to write us the document. So it can generate us unique content and help us with our draft over here. So first things first, let's start with the striking fact. Please generate the most important striking fact on climate change for an we don't need to say for an introduction. So please generate the most important striking fact on climate change. Enter. The last decade was the hottest on record. Okay. Please respond with just the striking fact statement. Okay, so it takes some guiding. So this is not quite what we want to write an introduction, starting, opening line. So we can say, please write the opening line. Please write the opening line for the striking fact. And this will give us basically a good opening line to get started. So with navigating Copilot is that it provides these responses, and the content, yes, it may not be incorrect, so it needs to be checked for correctness upon completion. But it's usually been pretty good so far, so I definitely ensure that you put a validation check at the end of the draft document writing process. So you'll need to copy the opening line and then paste it directly in the introduction section. And here as well is that the copy paste is not quite perfect and needs the font exactly needs to be changed to black. So there's another way we can do this as well, is that it's a much faster way, is we can guide Copilot for responding in a way that is best suited to our format. So we can say, please respond with just the line, nothing else. And it helps us to write this line, and it's nicely formatted. So what we can do then is click the introduction again, and we can press this button insert, which inserts directly that line. So we've just achieved the same result in half the time. So we only need one line, so we'll remove this line, and we've now completed the striking fact. That's done. Next, we will do the brief overview. So again, we can guide Copilot to write the brief overview. Please write a brief overview in 2 paragraphs on climate change. And now what Copilot's doing is it's going out and it's crawling the internet, and it's gathering information to really find that overview. So it's responded now in a nicely formatted way. We have 2 paragraphs. It's giving us an overview of climate change, and it also provides more information. It's even say it's primarily driven by human activities, which lines up with our main point number 1. Great. All right, so this looks pretty good so far. So we can then insert this directly into our introduction section. And next, and last but not least, it's the purpose or main idea. So climate change is bad, we must stop it. So let's say, please write a thesis argument that climate change is bad and we must stop it. And then say, respond with 2 paragraphs. That should be enough for the introduction section. So we can provide these limits to provide the response back and how much content we're guiding Copilot to say, okay, well, we need 2 paragraphs of this, so we're giving it some requirements and some limits. So you can't just respond with 2 sentences. We need 2 paragraphs. So this is where the pilot is assisting with. It's helping us to complete those requirements of writing the introduction. And Again, this can be changed to help you complete your own requirements. This is very much adjustable, and this is just a demonstration to show how to use Copilot in a way that will that will really make your writing process much more efficient. So we can see over to the right that Copilot's now responded with 2 paragraphs on climate change and why it's bad. So we will insert that into our introduction, and we can separate the paragraphs, and we can even include that first line in the first paragraph. Okay, so we've got our introduction there, and now we've completed the introduction. So I hope, so we'll just now just reflect just on what we've done is that we've created an entire introduction using Microsoft Copilot. We've guided Copilot to formulate its responses in a way that helps us to complete the requirements of what we need to do, and it's like not quite perfect in some areas. It's as we guide it more, it becomes better at understanding what we are trying to do. So the next thing, we can start to write out these key main points. We can write these, or we can, again, lean on our Copilot to do the research work, which is really required to build a simple draft document. So we can say we got points 1, 2, and 3. Copy those into our chat section here. Say, please write a full section body of for these 3 main points of a draft, and this will come back with 3 main. This will write out our unique content, and should cover these 3 main points. And again, this is draft content. So, all right, let's insert this into our body main points section, which is typically the body of a draft document. And this has been taken as the header, so we need to just make sure it's text. And there we go. So we've populated our main points section, which shows now we have a each section shows and addresses each point from the main points, which are these 3. So we don't need to include those in the draft, but we had those which were important to guide Copilot to for our end result. Last but not least, our conclusions. So we've got summary and final thoughts. So we can again use Copilot to generate the summary and final thoughts. Please write a conclusion using the thesis and body let's just start with that. And this should really create also include the final thoughts. All right, so it's generated our conclusion, and now we can insert this, and we have now finished our first draft for creating a simple first draft, something to just work with, something to get started, something easy to follow, and all with the help of Microsoft 365 Copilot. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this useful. And if there's any questions around the technical complexities or of how to guide Copilot, please drop them in the comments below, and thanks for watching.